Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has emerged as a potential spoiler in the 2024 presidential election. His appeal to independent voters threatens to pull votes from both Joe Biden and Donald Trump. Dale Hurd looks at why some voters are backing him as an alternative to the two main candidates.
It might seem strange to call a member of the Kennedy family a political outsider, and yet Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s outsider label is fueling his quest for the White House.
I know that when I get into the White House, I can give you back your country.
In an age when trust in government is seen as hitting a record low, Kennedy is attracting both Republicans and Democrats. We met some of those supporters at an RFK meetup in Virginia Beach and heard the words honesty and integrity often.
I like that he's honest, he's a good man.
I actually believe what he says.
He's an honest candidate, he's very truthful.
A lot of Kennedy's supporters feel like he's a truth teller who's willing to say things that other politicians won't say. They are disaffected, they feel alienated from the government, they feel like the major institutions in this country are not responsive to the people, the media, corporations, the government, and they feel like Kennedy gives voice to that perspective.
Kennedy's role as an outsider makes him a long shot, but that's also part of his appeal, and he's polling stronger than any third-party candidate in decades. Kennedy has been polling at a very respectable 10 to 13%, yet it's not clear whether Kennedy would pull more votes away from Biden or Trump.
He appeals to some folks on the right, some folks on the left. I spoke to somebody who said, I've met folks from the MAGA movement who like him. I've met folks from the Bernie movement who like him.
Polling by Ipsos shows that RFK supporters who have voted Republican in the past are more likely to be attracted to his stand against illegal immigration and foreign military involvement.
What I like about Kennedy, he's against all the foreign wars that we've got to get involved in, also on border policies.
Democrat supporters are more likely to view his work as an environmental lawyer and his stance on abortion as top issues.
Like what he says about abortion, like what he says about keeping the earth clean, keeping our food clean.
Kennedy's position on abortion remains unclear. He said on a podcast he would support full-term abortions, but his campaign says he only supports abortion until fetal viability, about 24 weeks. The Kennedy campaign website calls for fewer abortions through adoption and a massive subsidized daycare initiative. Others are attracted to Kennedy's stance against vaccines. While he maintains he's not anti-vaccine, he's also said vaccines are not safe and effective. Kennedy's supporters also see him as someone who could unify a very divided nation.
He wants to heal the divide, which I really appreciate.
I truly believe that he can unite America. There's a third faction who he's hoping to appeal to, I think, which doesn't get as much attention, but that's voters who are totally disengaged from the process. I mean, they might not even be considered voters until perhaps this election.
If I can persuade the American public to vote out of hope, to vote out of a faith in their future, to vote after a vision for this country that they can be proud of, that they can believe in. If I can convince them of that, the American people, then I win the election easily.
While some believe Kennedy chose his running mate, wealthy Silicon Valley lawyer and philanthropist Nicole Shanahan, for her checkbook, that hasn't seemed to dampen his support significantly. And as things stand now, another Kennedy is set to make an impact and possibly influence the outcome of a presidential election. Dale Hurd, CBN News.
He's definitely going to be a spoiler. My opinion is he needs to be part of the presidential debates. The current polling show him getting a significant number of voters, and so let that voice be heard. If we're just a two-party system, if independents aren't allowed into our presidential debates, I think that's a massive mistake.